What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Tuesday, August 11th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at this 5-game main slate. At the point guard position, I like Damian Lillard from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing point guards. Damian Lillard has averaged 47.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 37 minutes per game with a 30% usage rate. He's projected at 49.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 9,900 FanDuel salary and 100 less on DraftKings. So I like Damian Lillard here versus the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, looking for a value play here at the point guard position. Take a look at Javon Carter from the Phoenix Suns playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who have a good defense overall, and they've been good versus opposing point guards. Javon Carter has only averaged 12.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 16 minutes per game with a 13% usage rate. But take a look at his last 3 games. He played 37, 26, and 21 minutes the last 3 games, and he scored 36, 35, and 13 fantasy points. So it looks like this guy could be a stud or a dud. He's projected at 20 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's only 3,900 FanDuel salary, and he's 700 less on DraftKings. So I love that DraftKings price. So I like Javon Carter here versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like CJ McCollum from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing shooting guards. CJ McCollum has averaged 36.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 36 minutes per game with a 26% usage rate. He's projected at 38.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 7,400 FanDuel salary and 200 more on DraftKings. Now, would I play him with Damian Lillard? Probably not. I'd probably pick one or the other. But I think this is going to be a competitive game here versus Dallas. And I think one of these guys goes off, but both of them might have good games. So I like CJ McCollum here versus the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, looking for some value here at the shooting guard position. I like Alec Burks from the Philadelphia 76ers playing the Phoenix Suns, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and although they've been pretty good versus opposing shooting guards, Alec Burks has averaged 26.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 27 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate. He's projected at 22.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 4,200 FanDuel salary and 100 more on DraftKings. So I like Alec Burks here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Jalen Brown from the Boston Celtics playing the Memphis Grizzlies, who have the 10th worst defense overall, and they give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Jalen Brown has averaged 33.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He's projected at 33.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's 6,700 FanDuel salary and 400 more on DraftKings. Vegas thinks there's going to be 225 points scored in this game, so I like Jalen Brown here versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, looking for some value here at the small forward position. I don't love this play, but the matchup's good, and he definitely has this 30-plus point upside. I like Harrison Barnes from the Sacramento Kings playing the New Orleans Pelicans, who have the 5th worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Harrison Barnes has averaged 24.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 35 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He's projected at 23.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's $4,400 FanDuel salary and $300 more on DraftKings. So I like Harrison Barnes here versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Okay guys, outside of Kristaps Porzingis and Jason Tatum, it was hard to find a quality power forward, so I'm just going to give you a value play here. I like Dario Saric from the Phoenix Suns playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who have a good defense overall, and they've been good versus opposing power forwards. Dario Saric has averaged 21.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 25 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He scored 35 fantasy points last game in 22 minutes. He's projected at 20.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's $3,900 FanDuel salary and $600 more on DraftKings. So I like that FanDuel price. So I like Dario Saric here versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Jusuf Nurkic from the Portland Trailblazers playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Nurkic has averaged 47.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He's projected at 47.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.6 times value. He's $8,500 FanDuel salary and $500 more on DraftKings. So I like Jusuf Nurkic here versus the Dallas Mavericks. Okay, in a mid-range center play here. Now, this pick didn't work out yesterday. Most of my picks were good yesterday, but a couple of them flopped. That's always the case, guys. But I like Brook Lopez from the Milwaukee Bucks playing the Washington Wizards, who have the 3rd worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing centers. Brook Lopez has averaged 27.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 27 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He's projected at 29.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. He's $6,000 FanDuel salary, but he's still $700 less on DraftKings. So I think this is a DraftKings play here. Vegas thinks there's going to be 229.5 points scored in this game. So I like Brook Lopez here versus the Washington Wizards. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.